I'm done eating my pizza. I just wasn't gonna eat pizza on camera.
Oh no,
I would do
that's
this.
fair.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So then Dad got me and Tim, who really does exist. He got us
No, he doesn't.
chocolate bunnies and Peeps, and of course I can't eat Peeps, and Tim won't eat any of that. Um, so Dad ate all of the Peeps, and also Marilyn. She denied it, and then he was like, "Bullshit!" And she was like, "Okay, I had two," and we were like, "Okay, well then you ate some." Between the two of them, they ate an entire pack of Peeps. And I brought the
Gross.
chocolate bunnies home, right? I was like, I can't eat them because of gelatin, and then like it was a running joke for the rest of the day. Also, my mother dead ass asked me, "Oh, do you drink coffee?" And I'm like, what? What is even happening right now?
You drink so much coffee.
Like we literally, like she bought me my Keurig.
You're like, what's happening right now?
Just the usual insanity with her. But yeah, so then today, just now, like 2 hours ago, I was unpacking my sewing machine because, of course, that's where we're going back to all of this is unpacking. I was unpacking my sewing machine, and I found the chocolate bunnies, and they were actually decent chocolate.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. Like they weren't chalky at all. They were still like the hollowed out bunnies, but they were actually like soft to bite into. I think good chocolate, a little bit sweeter than my taste, but like that's a smoked chocolate. It is what it is. So yeah, winning there.
So fun Easter story related. I don't hide. We dye Easter eggs, and then the Easter bunny comes and hides them. And they are hard boiled.
Expensive tradition now.
Yeah.
Especially when you're like, oh, we've got 4 kids, so a dozen per kid, because I mean, really.
What in the?
It's boring if you don't do at least a dozen. But then the kids, one bailed for a birthday party, and then the others were both lackluster about it. And so then it took forever. Either way, several of them broke. 40 of them were hidden by the Easter bunny. Only 37 resurfaced.
Oh, good.
And I don't know, because I know the Easter bunny did not hide them very tricky.
Oh, no. Were they...
Like, I could tell when I came downstairs that the Easter bunny was not, like, into really tricky hiding spots. There's a 4-year-old present, so... But yeah.
So you've got 3 ticking time bombs?
Well, it's that or the dogs ate them without me realizing it because they were so available. I don't know which.
I hope it's that one.
Let's hope for that.
I don't smell anything yet, and we did look looked under the couch. I cleaned the whole area. I don't know. We might find a nice surprise at some point.
So
nice.
The first time this ever happened where we were actually not able to recover all of, like, in my entire life, that we've ever not recovered all of them. Which is why I think it has to have been that the dogs ate them and I didn't notice it.
Marilyn did the thing that she does on every holiday of listing off every single one of my friends that she knows of and asking what they are doing for that holiday. And I had to have that like come to Jesus with my mother of like, listen, if you don't have boomer parents and you don't have kids, you don't do Easter. Nobody does Easter unless, forced to by either an old person, or a young person. A young person. Is that what I'm doing? Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I stay home for Easter.
Yeah. Do you? Oh, it's
because
right.
Adult.
Yeah.
I sewed a bunch.
Yay!
Laura's got to come over and share.
Also, like Easter this year, not to like be a downer, but Easter was not good for my family this year.
Aww.
Well, so Saturday evening, we found out that my brother's best friend since beginning of high school, and his mother, died in a car wreck.
Oh,
Oh my
no.
Yeah, it was him, his mother, his wife, and his 9-year-old daughter in the car, and a drunk driver hit them head on.
Jeez.
Oh
God.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes it
yeah.
a rough holiday weekend.
Yeah, that makes it very tough.
Yeah, my family's terrible luck when it comes to Easter. My grandmother was buried on Easter. Not a great holiday.
I mean, not to be that guy or anything, but why wouldn't they schedule it either the day before or the day after Easter? There's flexibility in that.
That might have been a choice, like a resurrection type thing for the like.
Oh, that's
It
fair.
might have been a conscious choice.
That's fair. That's fair. I can see that.
I can cut some too. Otherwise, I can have bragging rights and say
So-
I cut out 108.
So what was Laura's Easter?
Bragging rights.
No, I don't care.
Bragging rights,
If
yeah.
I was kidding, but if you want to cut, you're welcome to.
Did Laura
I
have
didn't.
an Easter story?
There are
Oh, here. No,
there are 4 or 5 on there.
Are you cutting right on the line? Or
Yeah, right on
inside
the line.
or
You can go a little bit inside the line, but
Okay.
right on the line.
Okay.
Also,
grab?
misappropriation of resources.
I like this doling out of tasks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you should do.
I learned how to use the laminator in the office this week. And then, like,
Laminators are nice.
I know how to laminate. I'm gonna laminate these bad boys.
I did.
Yeah.
When you said that in Discord, I was like, that's a bit extra, but that's okay.
I mean,
You're also doing a lot of pedal, so I also kind of get it.
it is so sturdy. Like I have 108 laps around this thing and nothing. Like it is brand new. And also, I didn't waste it. I only did the one sheet of laminator paper, and I have another set at home, but I have 3 pedals here. So I did 4 pedals and 4 stems, like
Okay.
laminated, so that each of us could have a step. Since it's like a one size sheet, like I'm like, I'm not gonna waste it. We have
Now, I will say, just because this is the nightmare that I am currently in, so you might want to also be prepared for this. You may want to have somebody currently peeling the backing off of these.
Yes, I know. I did notice that was a bit of a challenge
Yes, it
when I
is.
tried to peel a little sample piece off.
It's worth it. Like, certainly if that is the most difficult part, like cool. But you might want to have somebody delegated to that right now.
Well, each of them took one,
Want all
so
of them pulled off? Or?
well,
What do you mean?
eventually we're going to need to pull all of them off. Yeah, because then they'll get ironed out.
Really? All of them? Is that how that works?
No.
Yeah, and it doesn't really preserve anything, keeping it on in the meantime. So like once it is ironed together, you may as well
If you peel it,
peel
if
it
you
right
peel
off.
fabric, it should be bumpy, and the paper should be smooth where you're peeling it.
The bumpy fabric.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see it's shiny.
Okay.
That's got the adhesive on it.
Okay.
So when we iron it down onto the white piece, it'll stick.
So should we be picking it up now or just?
It'll be just like a patch.
Yes.
A hat?
Patch.
Iron on patch?
Patch.
Yeah.
I'm deaf.
Yep. So I did get all of mine done.
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, I like the
Yeah,
stitch.
I
that
love
you
that
went
fabric.
with. How cute.
I love
So
that leaf fabric that you're using with the little itty bitty pink flowers in it.
Probably turn it.
yeah, right? Isn't it cute?
Yeah.
What stitch is that?
So
Blanket
it was
stitch?
one of the applique stitches just in my machine. It didn't have a name.
Can
If
we
I
see
had
it
done
again?
it by hand, I would have done that. We're not doing this by hand.
Oh yeah, it is a blanket stitch.
Thought
Yeah.
about doing it by hand.
You should have that on your machine. My machine has it.
Yeah, it does. She's got the same machine as me, and mine
Yeah.
has it.
In fact, mine has several of them.
Yes, I have a few different variations.
Mine has 8, 11, 12, and 23.
Those are honestly, if it's a brother, I probably have similar.
Yeah.
Also, I'm actually very excited since they joined in. These are the last of them, and then I'm going to break my machine out and play.
Perfect.
And I already have pink thread loaded in there. From
I used purple. I was quite happy with that.
I'm kind of like backlogged on projects.
See, and I'm in a weird spot where like, so I finished the bag because I have obsessive personality problems.
Nothing, no shame.
And I fixate. So that's done. I am now completely caught up on this. Like I was the other day reading the instructions on the Dresdens.
I feel like the Dresdens are the same as this, right? I think everything's done applique in this one.
No.
I don't think they are.
Oh, they're not? Okay.
No, they're. I mean, not in the sense that like you're not using heat and bonds. They're not piece technically. Like it's.
Are they paper piece? I haven't even really looked at them.
Let's see where I am. Make the blades. You sew the blades together.
Oh, that's right. You sew it together in like a fan, and then you applique it down onto the square.
No, I'm confused. Hold up.
So let me tell you what my dumbass just did.
Oh yeah.
I marked up the square that I'm working on with the like X that you need to put on it, you know? And so the other ones that I did, I have been laying all of the petals out and then pressing them down. And for this one, I was like, you know what? Let me just do one at a time so that I can sit here instead of going back over to the ironing board. And of course, I put one petal on and all of my lines disappear because that's literally the pen that I'm using.
I had a moment like that as well, where like I had like I just need a couple more petals, and then I didn't want to like cut a huge bit of heat and bond out, but I had a scrap, and I'm like, okay, let me see any petals I can get off this one scrap. Cool, that's enough. And I had already drawn all the petals on the back, so I'll just iron this to the fabric now, and then I'll cut them out, and then I ironed it on, and then I flipped it over and went, oh right, I'm using a friction heat disappearing pen.
Yep.
I guess the flip side of that is I threw it in the fridge.
And it came back.
And kind of.
Yeah,
enough that I could cut it out. I'm like, this is annoying. Also, my fabric was cold now.
So I don't know if I told y'all this, but the fabric for my blockheads, that block of the month that I was doing last year, that when I moved out of the camper, the fabric was lost forever. It has finally reappeared. So that is back on my project list. So I'm back up to this and that bag and the blockheads. But also I have a novella that I have to get written this month that was supposed to be 30,000, and I thought I was going to be done with it by the 15th, and now it's going to be 40,000.
Oh.
And then there's another one that needs to be edited that absolutely has to be edited by May 1st because I've already set up the pre-order for it to be available for sale on June 1st. And and like I need to have somebody look at this one. A lot of them I don't have anybody look at before I post them. This one I absolutely need another set of eyes on it before I send it out into the universe. So I don't think I'm going to be doing the blockheads this month, but my sewing machine is back up again in case I do at some point need that. But right now I think I've got four or five of these to finish up, and then I'm done with this, and that'll be good.
So I will say that I find it kind of amazing. I feel like we really kind of feels like we just started. But I've been coloring in with my computer
that's
the
nice.
picture, and
Mhm.
so like once we finish these, this is how much of it we have done.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, we're actually like
A good chunk through it.
we're like plowing our way through this.
It has like the main motif on it.
Yeah, it's just
I-
like some extra side squares. Like we'll do the dress thingies, and then 3 months
Mhm.
of the squares, and then these guys, and then it's done.
Mhm.
Then stitch it all together.
I've been trying to get my brother to come up here because he's got a truck, and I really want to get the stuff to make a project board, but it's going to be like those great big 4x8 sheets that I can't transport in anything but a truck. But I would really like that for that same reason, so that I can see the progress that is happening on this. And then once I get going back with that blockhead, so I can get a good idea of what that looks like. But those big styrofoam insulation 4x8 sheets are only like $12. So
They're
like
cheaper where you are. They're like 18 up here.
I was literally
in our
just
basement with them.
at Lowe's today to make sure that was correct, and yep, that is what they are here for. I believe they're like 3/4 inch thick. But yeah, so I'm just waiting on him to get up here so I can get that, and then it just takes 2 of them. I'll probably have to cut them down a little bit because I think my ceilings are a little bit lower than 8 feet, but that's okay.
Nails.
All right, machine is out.
Do you need me to move down?
No, you're good.
Oh, and that's so, Chris, since you are ahead on everything, I guess for Sunday side project, you'll get to decide what we do next.
Okay.
Because we will,
Problem, they won't stick together, right?
this will probably be our last meeting for it anyways. So, and then like obviously a show off session, but like you've already done that, so whatever. So yeah,
Head of the game.
we're jumping on May.
Oh, look at that.
But I am. I finished it on like the 2nd or 3rd of this month.
How did the final binding of the loop go for you? Because that is a nightmare every single time I do it.
Not bad, honestly. It was a slog, honestly, getting through all of the binding because like all of the pages are bound, and
Yes.
that's honestly what exhausted me the most. I feel like was binding all the damn pages.
I just, she did.
There was like one edge that like me and the binding had to have a conversation about.
Yeah.
And how did that go? Crucial conversation?
It was you will listen and you will go where you're supposed to go, and you will not try to force a hole here, and I will not have to restitch you 4,500 more times, but I will if I have to.
Mm-hmm.
With the amount of like binding they have you cut, there's definitely excess binding if you fuck up, which is nice.
Oh, good, because I didn't make enough binding.
Yeah, I have excess binding from this, from what she told us to cut.
Cool.
Because I cut exactly what she said.
I figured I would cross that bridge when I get to it, but it was supposed to be like a 24 by 24 piece, and I had like 18 by 20 or something.
You might end up close enough. Because I did enough where I could probably do like a whole nother round of binding.
I think I've got like a pretty large piece of fabric left from it that I can absolutely cut another couple of strips out of if I need to. I just didn't want to do that if I didn't have to.
It also like took me a minute to like, which obviously you all don't necessarily have to go through because I can just explain it now. But like, I even feel like in the instructions there are some gaps that took me forever to figure out. Where she kept going, refer to video, and I'm like, there's no video for this.
Oh, it's because it's a separate video.
Yes, took me forever to figure that out.
Yeah.
Which a bunch of the stuff that's in this, the add-on videos for this bag are honestly pointless because everything is covered in the other bag video. So I don't know why she did it basically 1.5 times.
Especially if she was going to direct us to the other site for half of them. Like either do it once or do it twice. Don't do it 1.5 times because then it's confusing where we need to go for it.
Absolutely. It took me a minute to figure out the flat.
I wonder how we were going to do this.
The flat binding on the bottom of this bag.
That doesn't seem like it's an effective way to cut. And
binding's not the right word, but
yeah,
or maybe it is. So like you connect the zipper loop to the side. You sew that seam instead of it popping out. She like has you sew it to be flat.
Oh, okay.
Just it took me a minute to understand what she was trying to explain when I was going through that.
Right. I don't know. I feel like I do usually just have a bump there. I think.
Hers gets it actually pretty flat. I'm actually pretty happy with it. Though I will say, Anne, you will like this. I wish I had a stiletto when I was doing the binding.
Yeah, stiletto is a total game changer.
Yeah.
Also,
Stiletto made it so much easier. I ended up using one of like my seam rippers as a fake stiletto for part of it.
Chris, I used the chopstick and it was great.
Okay.
Yeah.
cool.
It was sturdy. It was like chunky, but it wasn't too chunky. It didn't really matter that it wasn't like super, super thin. It was just one of my like bamboo Hello Kitty chopsticks and it worked great.
Yeah, I just
Kitty chopsticks.
I winged it with this guy.
Bamboo Hello Kitty chopstick.
Nice.
Sandy goes, bamboo Hello Kitty chopsticks, and I go, well, what else would you use them for?
Uh-oh, this is peeling this stuff off.
Yeah.
We can always iron it.
Well, what do we want the next Sunday side project to be? Is there any opinions?
It'll be fine.
So we did have that short list already going of
Did we? I don't remember.
yeah, I mean it was an extremely short list of Bargellos and one block wonders.
Oh, I would love to do a one block wonder.
Yeah, okay. So we will discuss that part of the next class or the next Sunday side project. We will discuss what we do for one block wonder.
Do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise my brain's just gonna go, we can make another bag. I kind of into bags now.
As you'll recall, I just made a bag. I am maxed out on bags for the moment.
That's fair.
Although I did use that bag to take the sewing machine down to my parents, and it was the perfect size for it.
Nice.
I even managed to jam a laptop in there, but like just barely. Oh my god, did I tell you the saga with my laptop?
No.
I don't think so.
So when
It's been like 3 weeks, so.
Well, yeah, but this would have been so when I went up to Atlanta, I must have at some point kicked my bag. I would assume that I was trying to get it underneath the seat. And I actually like messed up the hinge on my laptop. And it's not my good laptop. It's the laptop I take to Atlanta and whatnot. I probably only paid like $250 for it, and I was trying to figure out how to get it repaired because I didn't want to just let it go. But like, it got to the point where I couldn't open it anymore, and it was just like breaking the frame and stuff. And I googled and it turned out it was going to cost like $250 to fix it, which of course is not worth it when the laptop costs $250 to begin with.
Yeah.
So I managed to like use a YouTube tutorial and fix it myself with like epoxy and crap.
Nice.
And I was super proud of myself. And now I'm like, look at me, I'm a laptop repairman.
Man, YouTube's great.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
My son used to do repair, and my brother asked him if he could look at his computer, and he had nothing at home to get the screen off with. So he went through the kid's toy box and took out a suction cup, bow and arrow, and he took the arrow and went, oh my God, I need a picture. We took pictures of it.
Yeah, I as a woman, I just use the butter knife because that's what we do.
Butter knives are universal.
Yeah, I use the butter knife, cut it apart. I think at one point I actually did have to get go into my screwdriver set and get like the little baby tiny flathead because the butter knife proved to be a little bit too thick for it. But yeah, I was talking to my buddy James, who does do a lot of computer stuff, and he was like, oh yeah, you need to get all of these tools. And I was like, dude, I got a butter knife and like this crap set from Walmart, and this is what we're doing.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, and it worked. Epoxy for the first time in my life, everything went well. Only got a little bit of epoxy where it wasn't supposed to be, and no disaster happened. Everything hooked up properly. I was able to like clean my fan and stuff, and I was like, look at me go. I did not electrocute myself at any point.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah, always my fear when I'm doing stuff like that. And James is like, just disconnect the battery. You should be disconnecting the battery anyways when you do this. And I was like, I'm not going to touch that. I actually feel better not disconnecting the battery.
Sonny, I didn't even do anything.
It worked. Good job.
Look,
Yeah,
still waxy.
yeah, it is. Good.
Yeah, I just trying to figure out where the 4-year-old figured out the term waxy.
The foal had udders on the toy yesterday.
Oh yeah, she was playing with
I
horses
really
yesterday and wanted to know why the foal had udders.
The fact that she didn't call it a colt or anything, it was a foal and it was udders.
Of course, Anne jumps right in and said that's utterly something ridiculous.
It's a joke I would make.
Hey, I wonder where your daughter kept it.
I'm missing a square right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Wow, that is
Our
truly
dinner table
mysterious.
conversations
Must
when they
have
Oh,
lived
no,
with
right there.
was
Fifth
like crazy.
generation or something.
All right. Oh, I love this.
So because I don't learn from my mistakes, I put the lines on 2 squares, and then I came over to iron all 4 on at the same time in the appropriate manner. But I left these squares stacked on top of each other, so one of the squares did not have any marks
It
on
looks
it.
almost like it. It's so fun. I love this already. No, I did too. I didn't hear you, Alicia.
She said something about. Oh, thank you.
I didn't do
Check it
anything wrong.
No, you didn't.
I like the colors you picked.
Hmm?
I like the colors you picked.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. We have a whole bunch of different ones, but
You got a whole bunch
You
of
want to do
them.
the straight ones?
Oh,
or
you
want to
can't
do
see
the-
them.
okay. So now
These
I
first.
think I wrote down what stitches I'm gonna do for this.
Okay.
This things might be easy.
Okay. So let's get these out of the way so we don't lose everything in the pile of stuff.
So if you are going to play around with stitches, I would say start with the stem pieces first, or start with the piece that has the stem on it. And then that way, if you don't like the stitch that you use, then you can,
You'll
just do
cover
those
most of it
two.
up.
Fair
Well,
enough.
no, you can just use it on those two and then do a different stitch on the rest of them.
Gotcha. Good call. Good call. So these actually
Nothing more.
so you guys know what I did for this one? I literally I found the center by drawing a line from corner to corner and corner to corner.
Mhm.
And then you set these meeting in the middle, and then it should be a 1/4 inch in the corner. And you press it again and they stick. They go together real easy and real
Do they
fast.
touch in the middle or just close?
Yeah,
to-
pretty
okay.
close. Like I'm as close as I can get,
Oh,
pretty much.
perfect.
Waxy.
It is waxy.
Hey, did anybody happen to write down what settings I used last
Yes,
time
I
I did this?
did.
Yes, thank you.
You know she was the one that was gonna have it, not me.
Yeah.
You know who to ask. All right, so stitch. It's gonna be stitch number 5. And we had a length of 1.0 and a width of 2.5.
Perfect, thank you.
I'm gonna have
It's
to-
technically stitch 4 on my machine, but that is okay.
Is it? See, my stitch 4 is like a pretty jagged zigzag.
Yeah, so my stitch 3 looks like a Harry Potter scar, and then stitch 4 is a regular zigzag, and then stitch 5 is like a zigzag where it's like stitch, 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 stitch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's number 6 on mine.
We need it.
Just have one extra stitch in there that I don't have.
When you put an iron
Apparently.
on it, this goes on.
Yeah, I have
See, I have 2 Harry Potter lightning scar stitches.
That's 4. Number 4. That's what I mean by the Harry Potter lightning. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I got one.
Yeah.
That's number 4.
Yeah, that's 6 and 7 for me.
Yep, there you go.
And then 8 and 9 are basically both the same regular zigzag stitch, except one starts in the middle, one starts on the right.
Nice. Oh, also, y'all were talking about what color thread you were going to be using for this. I will be using my cotton off-white because the other day when I was going through all of my stuff, I've worked down most of them now, but I found 5 bobbins that were loaded with this thread.
Well, I'm
You
using
hit the jackpot.
I'm using the pink that I was using the other day when I messaged you guys about the fact that I had freaking 5 knots tied in it in less than 2 feet. What the heck?
Did you saw that picture I sent in Snapchat of my mother's spool of thread, right?
Oh, I was just about to bring that up. Oh my goodness.
I have no idea. It was like she gnawed on it like a badger. I have no idea how that came to be, and I was never able to fix it. I need to just give her another spool of thread. She literally had 1 needle. So when I was like, "Do you have anything to pin this with?" She was like, "No." And I was like, "You have like a pack of needles?" And she was like, "I have a needle." Like, oh god.
And I'm like, I have 47 needles, 1,000 pens,
Like,
clips.
I understand not liking sewing and so not having a bunch of supplies, but the fact that she doesn't even have a pack of needles. Like everybody's got a pack of needles. Come on.
So where's the extra stem?
Just that. So how many do we have here? We needed 6. So how many do we have?
Why do we only need 12? Because it's just the half ones that get it. We just
That's
get 2.
fine.
Guys, we're done.
So
with
how many do we
these.
have? I needed 6. How many do we have?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Okay, so how many extra do I have? How many more than 6 do I have?
7.
So that's 7. If I take 6 away, how many does that leave?
1.
Yes. So look at that. 6 plus 1 equals 7.
Why does that have 7 not? How much we need?
Just
'Cause your
we
mother
have
got
an
carried
extra one
away.
Because someone might say, "Well, I want these 2," and someone else might say, "Well, I want 2 that look alike." And I want two that look alike. Oh, but I don't like those two. Maybe I'll do these two. That's why we have an extra one.
We have
so we can
choices.
we have variety.
Because your mommy is that word extra.
Nah.
And that's where you get your extra from is your mommy.
2 and 2 and 1 and 2.
Oh, these are different. I put them together and they're different. Oh, I made a mistake.
We can start marking.
He has been super into being helpful.
No, they're the same. That's just the sticky part.
But also,
see,
I don't know
had
if
these
it's
on top
because
of each other.
several of
And
us
they're
in the
actually
house
different.
like to use big words, but she loves big words too, and it's kind of entertaining.
I support that.
People are surprised by things she
Do you
says.
put these with the color
She
that
said something in
matches
OT today.
No,
She
we
looked
have
at
to
me
keep
like,
these separate because
All right.
these, yes, these go on differently.
Could I have a stem, please?
Which stem do you want?
Surprise me.
Which stem?
Science, engineering, technology,
I
math.
was gonna do that.
them?
Cells, stem cells. There you go.
To give you
Lily wants
the 5-leaf clover.
Oh, I'll take it. Oh, that one will actually look really good on this background. Okay. And then I need 2 green leaves that are different
Lily.
and 2 pink leaves that are different.
pick out 2 different leaves for your mom. One of
So
those
she's
maybe.
already got this
Want
for
me
the
to surprise
stem.
you?
I do want you to surprise me.
Hey,
Okay,
baby.
that's what you're getting.
Do you like those 2 together?
But can I get 2 different colors?
All right. Those 2 work for you?
Those are perfect.
Okay, now, so we
Well,
got
they're kind of
pink
fun.
ones
They
here.
almost match.
So, got pink ones here.
Oh, cute.
That was the one with, whatever they're called.
Whatever they're called, that's
not
descriptive.
Too helpful.
I'm talking about those.
The check, the plaid.
This,
Plaid.
No,
This,
that and that.
this,
one?
and this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are little acorns. All leaves. They're little
They're
maple
little
leaves.
leaves.
Okay, so you want that, and you want that,
Okie doke.
or you want different?
No, that's fine.
I want that one.
Okay, that goes with the green and everything. It
Sure,
brings
pick
out
them out for
everything.
you.
All right. I
So
like
good,
it.
Mom?
I'm going to go iron these. I'll be back.
Woo.
It's sticking to me.
Yeah, it is. Are you going to be sewn into the quilt, Lily? Huh? It'll be handy when I'm struggling to try to get you to get dressed in the morning
You're already
or
dressed.
afternoon or whatever it turns out to be.
Already dressed.
Today it was about 2 o'clock this afternoon.
I respect that.
She declares pajama day every day.
That's okay. Your cousin Jeff
Mom,
was staying at our house.
I'm okay with that.
and worked
you
today
like
from
what
home,
I got you?
and she's still in her pajamas now.
Some days I just never get out of my pajamas. I work from home. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
They're gonna know.
I always
Nobody's
love
gonna
all those
know.
commercials where the guy drops his chips and stands up, or there's just goofy commercials.
So, anybody else OCD about the fact that we don't have the diagonal lines for the petals on the stem one?
Oh yeah, I did say that I did that, right? Like I feel like
You did.
Okay, yeah.
Why that there's not the diagonal line? That's not okay.
Yeah, like we actually need that and they take 2 seconds to do. There's no
Like,
inconvenience in
why
doing
is that not
it.
Yeah.
That
Do you have an erasable pen in?
It's very interesting watching you do this, Alicia, putting this lovely pale blue petal
Oh,
and
for
then
Bumblebee?
fixing it to this terrible print underneath it.
I like that this is also one of the pieces where you can literally see the word Transformers right there. I think
Yeah.
it's going to get caught in the seam allowance, but if anybody looks really closely, it does also say Revenge of the Fallen on it. Which, I mean, I will say in my defense, was one of the better Transformers movies. Oh no! Oh, my bobbin ran out.
Devastation.
All right, 3 down, 2 to go.
Why are bobbins not the same size as a spool of thread? I never understood that.
You know, I'm more concerned about the fact that like there are 2 bobbin sizes that are identical, but also not.
Yeah, I ran into that problem. I
Uh-huh.
can't find the right size for my machine.
Yep.
I bought 2 different packages that didn't fit it, and they wouldn't sew right.
Yeah, Ashley had a gigantic issue with that last year. And like even when she
From
went
the dealer too.
Yes, yep, that was exactly what I was gonna say. Even when she went to the dealer and told them like what model it was and everything, they still sold her the wrong size. And like thankfully we were at that quilt expo, so like I just went into another booth and grabbed a ruler and checked it and was like, nope, it's wrong, go back.
No, they go this way.
Lily, that won't work like that. You have to hold the cup all the way down. The bottom of the cup has to be down.
Like when I first got into sewing, at first I was like, oh, maybe it's the dots. Like maybe as long as the dots are the same, they're the same size. And nope, the dots mean nothing. By dots, I mean the little holes that are, the holes that are in the side of it. I thought they might have some meaning. They don't. I don't know what they're for. Wind resistance, I don't know.
To
Well,
trick
I use it
you.
to put the thread through, and then I hold that because I can never figure out which direction the bobbin will spin, and I can never remember. So I just hold that thread up, lock the bobbin in, and if I hold the thread up, it holds everything in place, and then it just goes the way it's supposed to.
My machine has this cheat sheet right here that tells me how to do it.
Nice.
Old ladies like me need that.
Yeah.
I taped mine, but I didn't do it on the bobbin, and I should have.
So my machine has both a sticker and a plate for how to that explains how to actually load the bobbin in the bottom, and I still have both. Like I still have the sticker on there, even though there's literally an engraved plate right there that tells me how to do it. And I'm like, you know what? I just like the sticker better. So like this sticker right here, all of this info is printed right here as well. And like no, the sticker is
higher contrast against the white.
Yeah, it shows up a lot better than it just being engraved on that plate. Okay.
Hey,
so...
you're talking to the person that spent 2 days looking for the bobbin casing that never existed on my.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling though, because like, especially like if I'm bouncing between 2 machines, I will do stuff like that constantly.
Don't get it on the fix. Okay.
Well, I have my templates for next month.
Yay!
Now I just have to decide what color it's going to be because I don't know.
Did he just finish? He did his templates. He's finished all his.
Yeah, these are the templates for next month
Oh, okay.
for the Dresdens.
Wow, you are way ahead.
Go ahead and laminate those too.
She comes home from work and she's got petals cut out. She's got stems cut out.
All laminated.
The pattern she took and laminated. I go, I haven't even thought about that. I haven't.
Do it at work or?
No,
Looks good.
well, the laminating part I did at work because there's the laminator at work.
Lily picked out all the colors.
But I was in bed until 12:30 cutting petals last night. But I was behind on TV shows, so I was watching them quietly on my phone with my earbuds while Sean was sleeping. And I'm caught up, so I'm ready to watch The Mandalorian tonight. I'm current on Shadow and Bone and Night Agent. I'm like, I am caught up.
And I'm over here just like, season finale of Drag Race this Friday.
I am currently out of shows other than Love Island, which really doesn't count because I'm just trying to pick up British slang from it.
I'm telling you, you need to go down the hole of WoW Presents of all these random foreign seasons of Drag Race.
Like the
Some of them are great, and some of them are terrible, and they're both fun.
I know. Again, I just don't want to go through another subscription service. And like, I know you offered it to me, but like,
You don't have to be a boomer and get your own. You can literally borrow mine.
These instructions say to use a width of 4 and a length of 1.5. That is wide.
Yeah. I would never do that.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. What was
She's
the
trusted-
length for it?
Huh?
What was the length for it?
1.5. So a little bit longer
Yeah,
and
that is
much wider.
gigantic. That is gigantic. Which, I mean, I guess if you really want it to show up, but I don't want it to be like a gigantic thing on it. Like, I don't
No.
want the actual sewing to detract from the rest of it. And really, this isn't something where you have to worry about it coming apart at all.
So
Like if we were working with one of the fabrics that frays really easily, like if we were working with a fleece or something like that, fleece or like
Or like a fabric that's like burnt.
machines of liquid.
yeah, like something like that, I would say absolutely do like wide and long for it, but this doesn't need it.
I think Anne was reading the actual.
Yeah, that's what the actual instructions were, but that's what we're doing. So here's a curiosity, and this is like I'm OCD and I just embrace this. But I'm gonna have pink thread on the green leaves.
You don't have to.
I don't like that.
You switch threads.
Yeah.
That's so much work.
I mean,
What do you?
well, so yeah, you are switching the top bobbin.
Which I
I mean,
think
I-
It's not a ton of work. Get the flowers down and then switch and get the leaves and stem down.
well, that's what I thought. But then I'm just gonna do a leaf first, and is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, if
Yes, you can have one.
I did purple on all of mine. So like here's my leaf outlined in purple. Like it doesn't bother me really because like there are like tiny purple flowers in my leaves.
Gotcha.
So
Nice. Sandy's coming to look.
it's also super pale, so like
Cool.
Well, and it also looks very much like your background fabric.
I like that.
yeah.
Mine's just straight up white, and then it's just going to be upside down, pink outlining those greens. And I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, I like it, but like it's not my quilt, so.
All right, I'm gonna try.
Also, part of why I did white thread. Technically off white thread, and even that was like that's better than white. And I have all of these bobbins already, so perfect.
And then pick white for the green. Are you going to be in band when you get bigger?
What are you doing?
Making music. You're not?
Okay, so I'm trying to remember. I wrote the directions, but where did we? Because I have two. Oh, stop there and stop there. Okay.
So I assembled mine backwards from how she did it because she started with the stem, and I was like, that's a real dumb place to start at.
Yeah, so we're starting with the petals. We do the one big long swoop along the tops of the petals first.
Yeah.
Okay.
The nice thing about doing doing that square first is also it makes this one so much easier by comparison.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
this is just a mindless now.
Like I ironed them all up, and then I sat down to sew them. I did like a couple of the ones that are just the 4 petals,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was just going in the order they were stacked up.
Yeah.
And then I get to one of the ones with the stem, and I'm like, oh, this sucks.
Now, not to be like,
At least there's only 2.
not to be
Yeah.
a one-upper or anything, but keep in mind that I learned how to do this making the Greek letter sweatshirts for Greek life people,
Mhm.
where it was like an actual letter and it was 2 rounds of it because there's like the borders satin and then the like print in the center, and oh my god. So like this part I could just do in my sleep. Like I am loving every second of this because it's so easy. But terrible background for why I feel that way.
I mean, overall though, I do think these are easy.
They are. They are, and then the flip side, of course, for you is that it makes a really nice, relaxing way to start with applique before it gets potentially more challenging.
I'm not staying on the left side.
Are you using the guides on your what?
I wasn't, and then I started as I was singing.
I have my 1/8 inch foot on, and I am leaving it like just barely to the right of the center guide on it.
I don't know which foot this would be called.
I used my clear foot.
Yeah, this is the one that's got like the big clear pane in the front of it, and then there's just like a little crossbar of metal that has the
yeah, that's what this
the
is. There's like the crossbar and then the yep. Yeah.
Oh,
Nice
you're
clear.
using that guy. Okay, yep. You're using I don't know what that one is called.
Oh nope, I'm not using that guy either. Hang on.
That's what I used. That's also what my machine told me to use in my defense.
Right. I don't know how I can even get in here with this camera the way it's mounted. Oh Lord. Don't mind me, the world is just upside down right now.
According to my book, I'm using a satin stitch foot.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay, I super love this so far, FYI.
So that is the foot that I have. I don't know if you could see that clearly, but there's like
Yeah.
the plastic piece
Yes,
in the middle, and the metal.
That's the
and
one
then,
I'm
like,
using.
okay, yep, that is your 1/8 inch foot.
Okay, I need to go a teensy bit further. But I am actually wildly delighted with this.
Good.
Good.
Applique is a great add-on skill for quilts because you can like take any quilt, you can make anything, whatever it was initially, and then you can just slap applique on it. Any random adornment you want, you could just slap on with an applique. Oh, Chris, how's the new store going?
The actual store or like district vibes.
I guess both.
Is there a difference? Clearly.
There is
Yeah.
definitely a
Oh
difference.
yeah, definitely. As somebody who has worked in, oh no, you know what? I feel like I literally never left my district. I just like worked every flipping store in that district. That was such a weird shaped district.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the store itself is most.
On it.
It's on the left side.
It's on the
Oh,
left.
my last store was in a different
We started on
district.
the left side.
Howard's Village was a different district.
Yeah, so the store itself is fine. Most of my department managers are idiots, but they're not like obstinate necessarily.
Right.
They just need a lot of explaining to understand really basic things. But like district wide, oh my God, Brian Joel is so much worse than I remember. He is so disorganized.
Yeah.
Like, it is insane, actually, how disorganized this man is.
I'm not at all surprised at all.
I was. I'm gonna be honest, I was. I did not expect this level of disorganization. And like everything else I expected. Like I cannot stand being in like a store manager's meeting with him
Hang on here.
because they're not really meetings, they're just him yelling for an hour.
Yeah.
Expected. Knew what I was getting there. Hate it. It's the disorganization. It's the not communicating, or then pretending he did communicate. I sent that email out weeks ago. No,
Yeah.
you didn't, or I would have it.
Well, that was exactly what happened with your lunch thing, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and it just continues to intensify.
I'm gonna use the pink
On the
and
I
see
like it
how
on
I
the
like
green.
it on the green because I
It's
actually
such a
think
light
it's good.
pink.
It's so light that I
Yeah.
don't think it's as offensive as I was being offended by.
I think it's going to be totally fine.
But that's I got the
I like it.
I got the petals and it's subtle, but it does the job and I really like it.
That's kind of how I felt because I used a really pale purple.
So yeah, I think I'm very happy with that, and I think that I already knew I kind of like applique, but I think this means that I really like applique.
So Brian Jewell, I always got the vibe from him that he was trying to hide his chaotic and was doing a fair job of it.
No, I was just looking for where
Yeah,
I like the way
just.
it was really flat there.
I look forward to the day
Yeah.
that somebody above Brian Jewell asked me about Brian Jewell.
Right. And now he is still district manager, right? He's just
Yeah.
in that district now. Okay.
Yeah, he's just in this district.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand like how focus needs to work because he's just like everything's important.
Oh yeah.
No, that's not how this works. Because
Yeah.
if everything's important,
Then
nothing's important,
Yeah.
and it doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Doesn't get it.
Yeah, if I have it this way, I'm starting here. So that's here. So I'm gonna go. Oh, not that one.
I was on a conference call with him today, and it's a produce department shrink focus conference call.
Mhm.
It was booked
First
for an
of all, I was
hour.
like, why would you be on that? And then I was like, wait, no, store manager now.
Yeah, store manager.
Interrupting for a moment. Sorry.
Go for it.
On your stem, did you still do your fancy stitch, or did you do it straight like we had talked about?
No, I did the fancy stitch.
Okay,
That's just me.
I'm trying to decide.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't remember we talked about doing it as a straight line stitch. So
So it was. Let me grab it.
So did you just break where the leaf is? Did you do the leaf first and then you did the stem?
So it was right in here when you're going back over to do the
Yeah.
stem. It was a straight stitch in there so that it's not a
Oh, it
super,
was
super
just
chunky
in there
buildup.
that was straight.
Yes. Yep. For
So-
here it's regular. Here it's straight, regular, straight. Just so that they didn't get too bulky in those areas.
okay, maybe I could pull up, show you what I did here. But like I stitched down to the leaf, so I did the stem right into those points, and then I did the leaf, and like I didn't. This isn't stitched over right in this gap. There's no stitch line straight down. Like I stopped and just did the leaf.
That's what I was imagining doing. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was.
So you'll
Yep.
do
So
here,
I'll just do that part over
just
there
this
and up
part,
there,
and you're not
and
even doing it there. Yeah.
nope, I'll just do it there and there. Okay.
Yeah. So like I did all of the petal, all the leaf, but like I didn't like the stem that is underneath the leaf. Like I didn't do that.
Right.
If
That's
that makes sense.
exactly what I was picturing doing as well. So perfect.
So anyway, so I'm on this produce street conference call. It's booked for an hour today. It's the whole district.
Mhm.
So there's a store manager, a produce manager, and then Brian Jewell for every store. And he starts off with this is our second one of these. He starts off with, all right, this should be a nice quick conference call, guys.
So we're talking like 60 people then.
25 people.
Okay.
Not at all.
How big?
25
district is 10 stores.
approximately.
Okay, I was thinking it was 20 stores for some reason. And then that math still didn't work out in my brain. It's okay. Anyways,
You're good. Yeah, so it's like 25 people. He's like, this will be a nice quick conference call. And the way this works is you kind of like, he goes store by store, and they're supposed to read off all these shrink numbers, and then like he gives feedback. Feedback. Not helpful feedback.
We're right. And not a ton of feedback because it's every single store.
Or in this case, with every single store, he gave the exact same feedback and beat the horse to death.
Nice. What was it? Now I'm curious as to what the message was.
So the first thing he talked about every single time, like, was apparently everybody was supposed to like email him these numbers ahead of time, so he had them as we all read them off, which seems absolutely fucking pointless to me. But if we're gonna email them to you, though, I don't understand why you need to have a conference call. So he ranted for a while, but no one sent him these numbers. And honestly, if no one sends you the numbers, it's you. Hi, you're the problem.
Yeah.
Clearly you didn't communicate, or you would have the majority of stores. But when one store sent you it and no one else did, you're the problem.
Yeah.
He brought that up every single time someone read out their numbers. It was the top of the call, the end of the call, and all 10 stores in between.
Perfect. So 12 times we went over this.
Minimum 12 times.
Yeah.
Just trying to hammer it home that everyone fucked up. It was so unnecessary. And then just going from store to store, like, yeah, I guess you did a little better, but like, I think your sales just covered up the fact that your shrink really didn't improve. It's not helpful.
No, it's not.
So this conference call that was booked for an hour, that he said it was going to be quick, was an hour and a half.
Nice. And just like wasted a huge chunk of the day when it was literally the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely was. And he just doesn't get it.
No, and he probably didn't even realize that he was doing it. He just like is so like rote about what he is doing that he's not even paying attention to the fact that like literally he's just saying the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, like, I don't know, that makes sense to me. Like, just with, like, Publix in general. Like, I can't... Like, there were so many times... You know what? The one thing that always stuck out to me with Publix was when... was the fact that, like, literally every single person in management was trained to give the exact same response when we said that I'm completely blanking on the name of it now, but the computer system. When the numbers... FPR, yeah. When we said FPR wasn't working, literally every single person would say it catches up. You're not doing it right. It's catching up. It's going to catch up. And like, no, it was never catching up. It was never going to catch up. It never could catch up. I was like insane about making sure everything was done correctly with it at Woodlawn, and it never caught up. And no matter who I spoke with, I got the exact same response. The entire time that I dealt with FPR, which was like 8 years. Always the exact same thing. It'll catch up, really, because it's been 8 years. And then COVID happened. They were like, well, remember last year the numbers were messed up because of COVID. And then we'll remember 2 years ago the numbers were messed up because of COVID. Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're still using that one.
Oh, yeah. They'll use it forever. Like, they can literally use that one until FPR finally dies for another program that is just as messed up. But also, I guess that's everywhere. Like, that's every job everywhere, if it is corporate.
Yeah. Someone just trying to justify their pay.
Yesterday, I was trying to enroll somebody in a Kohei card for Rinvoke. And, like, this is something that I do every day of my life, which is usually a fairly seamless process, but because I'm dealing with specialty meds, like copay cards, like specialty meds are just impossible without copay cards most of the time. except for this situation, and that's going to be the punchline of this entire thing.
Okay.
I had to talk to 5 reps. I'm in no way exaggerating when I say it took 2 hours for me to get this card to work. So I call and we do the initial enrollment. I've got the patient on the line. We go through the entire thing. He gives all of the information that he's asked, and everything is done. You know, everything goes in, and she's like, okay, everything is set. And like, she's still going over everything. And I'm like, should that card be working now? Because I just put it in the system and it's not working. And like, this is one of the things that like, I don't like having the patient on the line. But for these, I would rather have them on hold the entire time, just because when things go wrong, then we're like suddenly talking computer system speak, and like the poor customer is stuck. Like, I'd rather you just have that hold music and have your phone pushed to the side while you're living your life, instead of like being stuck listening to this conversation. And I'm like, so it's not working. It's throwing this error at me. What are you seeing on your end? And she's like, well, I'm not seeing anything. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what I'm going to do? After we fussed with it for like 5 minutes, I was like, okay, listen, this is what I'm going to do. Oh, and she was like, so I think I'm going to need to transfer you over to an insurance specialist. And I'm like, okay, well, instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang up now, and I'm going to get this all taken care of with the patient, get everything set up so he's not stuck listening to all of this. And then I am going to call y'all back and get this worked out, because I don't need him in on this. And like, what I'm seeing here, like, there's no reason for me to take up all of his time, especially because, again, it ended up being another hour and 40 minutes before this was resolved.
Yeah.
So I did that. And so I asked her, so she's like, you know, we're going to have to transfer you to an insurance specialist for it. And I said, okay, so is there a direct line that I should call for that? And she says, no, you'll have to call this line, and we'll just like, you know, somebody will check in and we'll get you to the insurance specialist. So I'm like, okay, great. So I get off the phone with them, deal with everything with the patient, give them a call back. And it takes, I am in no way exaggerating when I say it takes 11 minutes for the next person that I am speaking with to find and validate this account. Finding and validating an account should literally be, what is the patient's name? What is their birth date? What is the RX number? What is their address? Like, that is absolutely totally maximum amount of information that should be needed to do this. Oh, and I literally had his ID number as well, okay, because I had just gotten it. And he's like, okay. So 11 minutes later, he's like, okay, so I'm going to need you to call Pharmacy Help Desk. This is the number to Pharmacy Help Desk. And I'm like, WTF? Why wasn't I just given this number before? He's like, OTE, I don't know. And I was like, all right, cool. We'll transfer me over. And he's like, no, you have to call it. I can't even transfer. And I'm like, okay. So I call Pharmacy Help Desk. I have another 5 minutes of getting checked in before she says, okay, so what's going on here is that they enrolled you in the wrong type of copay card. There are 2 types for this medication. There's the rheumatology one, and there's the gastro one, and this looks like it's a rheumatology one. I'm like, cool. Can we get that fixed? And she's like, yeah, I'm going to transfer you over. And you just need to tell them that it needs to be a gastro card. And I'm like, great. And she's like, here is the phone number to where I'm transferring you to. And it's literally who I was just speaking with. Thankfully, it is a different person this time. But this is now the next conversation is 20 minutes of them enrolling me in another card that I say no less than 15 times in this conversation. Like, yeah, it just needs to be a gastro card. I don't know what all that means on your end. I'm not the one who has the system, but that was what I was told. It just needs to be a gastro card instead of a rheumatoid card. Then she goes through the entire process, and I get a new card number, and it is declined. And I'm like, okay, so this is exactly what happened before. Is this a gastro card that you just did? And she's like, I'm going to put you on hold and reach out to my insurance specialist. And I'm like, okay, cool. Please just get this fixed. I am now tired. And so she puts me on hold for easily 15 minutes. She did check in occasionally, and I respect that. But finally, 15 minutes later, she comes back and she's like, okay, we figured out what's going on. The patient's primary insurance isn't covering it, and we need the primary insurance to cover it in order for the copay card to work. And this is an actual thing. Like, if you don't have primary insurance, you just go into a different system. It's not that they're like, no, we're not going to help you. It's just a different help that they offer. But I'm like, okay, so the funny thing about this is that I'm literally looking at a paid claim right now where the insurance literally just gave us $10,000 for this medication, and we are literally asking you for 15. So don't tell me that the insurance isn't covering it. I see the insurance coverage right here for $10,000. Yes, your primary is absolutely covering it. And so she puts me on hold to get another insurance specialist. And then that insurance specialist is like, okay, let me talk to her. So I get on the line. We let that rep go. And so I get on the line with this insurance specialist. And the insurance specialist says, oh, she enrolled you in a rheumatology card, and it's supposed to be a gastric card. And I was like, I literally said that so many times. And I am in no way exaggerating when I say that it was fixed 2 minutes later. 2 hours to get this fixed. 2 minutes. That an hour before that, I knew what the problem was. That looks great. And I don't think it matters at all that you used pink thread there. I think it looks fine.
That looks great.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm pleased.
Yeah. And also, in case y'all didn't catch this, this was because that patient has the best insurance in the world, and that is the Sanjay, which is the state of New Jersey employees, which means that without the copay card, it was only $15, and the copay card was going to save him $10 a month.
So all that so that he could only pay $5 a month.
Exactly. And then meanwhile, I just started Wellbutrin, and for the generic, I have to pay $30 a month.
This is very much the energy of. So I used to be on a medication that, like, without, it's like a 30-day supply with no insurance would have been like $3,000 or something.
Which one was that? It's probably one of mine.
It is. I'm trying to remember the actual medication name and not what the treatment's called. Let me do a little quick Google here.
It doesn't matter. I'm just always curious because, like, we also have this issue where people on the mail order side will transfer calls to us simply based on the fact that it's a $5,000 medication or it's an injection.
Oh, it is that. Okay. I was thinking it was one name. Like, I thought of a name and I'm like, no, that's wrong. I've heard that name parodied too much. No, it absolutely is that. Truvada.
Oh, yeah. That is one that is on our side.
So my insurance covers it, and I was able to get like one of those copay cards, and I paid nothing after all of that.
Yeah.
But that copay card was super easy to get and did not require 2 hours.
No, I've never gone through, like, I've definitely had issues with copay cards, but I have never gone through anything like that.
So one of my fun adventures this week, last time I tried to fill my ADHD medication.
It doesn't exist anymore.
It does. It's coming back into stock.
Are you okay? So you didn't switch to Vyvanse. You are still on the generic Adderall. Okay.
And Last time I was getting ready to go on vacation and they only had 25 pills and then the prescription was for 30, obviously.
Mhm.
But they were like, okay, well, you can take the 25. I was like, okay, well, when can I get the other 5? They're like, no, it null and voids your script once we fill it. So you only get 25. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I only had like 2 left. Called to get the refill. And they're like, well, you're pretty close on that. And I was like, well, y'all shorted me 5 last time. So I am finishing 5 days sooner. And they're like, that's fair. But also, we don't have it in stock. I'm like, cool.
And like that is fair. It is.
Can you tell me if someone else, like if another Walmart pharmacy happens to have it in stock? Oh no, we can't do that. But then he's like, wait, let me check your dose. He's like, okay, so I see your dose. We don't have that dose, but we do have double that dose. He's like, you should call your doctor and ask them to void this script and write you a new script for the double dose and then cut it in half. So I had to call my doctor, wait for them to rewrite the script. And then today I was delighted because I never heard back from my doctor's office after I called and left the message. But I got an email or a text message notification from the pharmacy that 2 things. One, not only is my new prescription ready to be picked up, but also they have finally gotten enough of my medical bills put into the system that expected payment is $0. Finally.
Yeah.
So not only do I have meds now, it's also going to cost me $0.
Nice. So my most like tragic end to the Wellbutrin thing is, so I'm not going to be able, like, if I use my insurance that I literally work for this company, this is what I do, is work for my own pharmacy insurance plan. If I use them, I have to pay $30 for, like, I basically have to pay $1 per pill for it. Or I could use GoodRx.
Yep, I love GoodRx.
And there is exactly one pharmacy that I can get a good deal on it. And it is a great deal. It is $16 for 90-day supply. Chris, guess which pharmacy it is?
Is that Publix?
Publix. Even I knew that
one. Yeah. And I had to call my own employer today to do a price check because I'm not allowed to do a price check on myself. And I'm like, just give me my goddamn formulary. I can do this myself. No, you have to have somebody else do a price check for you. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to do GoodRx if I stay on this. I don't know if I'm gonna stay on it. I've taken SSRIs before and they didn't do anything for me, but like, here we go.
Here's hoping.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, at that like $30 a month, it is at that range where I'm like, I wouldn't take this. I would not keep taking it for $30 a month. Like, that is my line.
I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
Only reason I was on that for as long as I was is because it was free.
Yeah. Oh, but then meanwhile, yesterday, one of the other calls I had, I am in no way joking, where I say somebody asked me to do a price check. I'm like, they didn't even know the name of the medication. It was this whole great big nightmare, just like trying to figure out what they were taking. We didn't have a prescription for it. They were like trying to figure out where to go. Blah, 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 blah. I go to do a price check on it. And I'm like, okay, so it looks like you can go to just like any of your regular retail pharmacies. You can like walk into Walgreens or CVS or wherever and get it. And every single one of them, no matter where you go, it's going to be under $3. So she's like, well, how much is it at Walgreens? And I'm like,
under $3.
Walgreens is $1.12. And she's like, well, how much is it at CVS? And I was like, it's $2.97. And she's like, well, how much is it at Walmart? And I'm like, it's $2.14. Every single one of this, she's like, okay, so I'm going to go to Walgreens then. And I'm like, are we really doing this? Are we really doing this over $1.45? But here we are.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
But you can't put your friends in.
I just
I
don't want to have
love
to pay
that
more
one.
than I need to. And I'm like, you'll literally pay more in gas money if like
Oh,
you're going to one that's further away, but whatever, do you?
People make no sense.
Yep, she's there.
You want to pause it, Sandy? Or you want to pause it?
Well, I'm pleased. Very, very happy.
Wow, look at that. I'm gonna take a picture of that.
I am also
Yeah.
pleased.
I'm jealous, but I have like so. I'm extra. I'm a little bit OCD. There's a reason for the Adderall.
I assumed. I assumed you probably weren't dealing them.
but train of thought. I'm gonna catch it. It's coming.
Could come back around.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have like a list over the next probably 4 weeks of like in the evenings and on the weekends the projects that I need to work on to have them done in certain time frames, like for Side Project Sunday, what I need to get done each day to get that. And I have my my hairstylist and I are bartering, so I got to make 2 of my witchcraft bags for her. And I'm just like, okay, so this day I need to do this, and that is why I was up until 12:30 cutting petals last night, because I was like, I gotta have petals ready so that we can practice. Like I got like this, I've got a month of to-do lists because I'm like, okay, this day I'm gonna get this project done, and then I'm gonna get this one because I have fallen so far behind with getting ready for vacation and everything else that like, okay, I'm gonna have to map out my life for a little while here.
That's fair.
Yeah, all my free time lately has just been in sewing. It's just like all I have felt motivated to do.
But what is that? What is
Free
free
time?
time? What is that?
That
That's what
time.
people without kids have. That time that you spend with your kids, you sew.
But
like,
I don't
write
even feel like I get to do that.
That is, yeah, like while you were like dealing with, what'd you say, 4 dozen hard-boiled eggs?
Yeah, that.
I was at my sewing machine.
Yeah.
That's when I did all my petals. Literally, I did all the applicated single day.
What is that?
Although it goes really fast once you get it going.
It is absolutely like I wasn't that worried about busting out the applique because I've done applique before. I'm like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Other than like I'm gonna play with this new stitch and see how I like it, and I did like it. I did all of them in that stitch.
Well, that gives me hope because I am hoping. Oh wait, no, I'm supposed to finish this weekend, which maybe I'll finish it beforehand. But then my side project bag, that's what I'm doing. I'm off of work Thursday and Friday next week. And my main goal, the only thing on those days is catch up on my bag. And Saturday, catch up on my bag.
Nice.
So
yeah.
then here is the other thing. And I'm going to put this on you, Anne, to decide because obviously you're the one in the chaos mode right now.
It's not just right now, but yes.
We do technically still have like a free week where we shortened that one session down to a single one instead of 2. So we do have like an extra week floating around where we can stay on this one and it still be on schedule for finishing.
Honestly, with how this went, I don't feel like I need it, but hang on, let me check with Laura and Sandy, who are very graciously entertaining my 4-year-old for me.
Yeah, I feel like this is
later,
something where, and I know that I'm
all of this, and I will help them.
I know that I'm fast with it, but I did literally just bang out 4 or 5 of them in an hour. So,
yeah. And this was honestly, this went very fast, and it was my first one like ever. And
yeah.
Yeah, I think once you have all the pedals, I think cutting the pedals is the longest part of it, to be honest.
Yeah, and trust me, like I there are no words to show.
Yeah.
Like there's 108 pedals because that is how many pedals are required for 3 people.
And sewing those pedals are so easy. Like once you get to the actual pedal block,
oh my gosh, they go fast.
Yeah,
it's so
fast.
easy.
The annoying part
because it's just that half circle, right? It's just that half circle 4 times. Like it is. Yeah. You don't even have to worry about like a weird inner corner
and I
with
already
it.
did one.
Yeah.
So these go together fast. So we were talking about whether or not we feel like we have wiggle room. We can have like an extra week. Or if we feel like in 2 weeks we can move on to the next block. which personally, since we've got it this far, I feel like we could probably move on.
I'm probably.
Oh, you know what? Yes, let's do it.
You guys.
No.
No, you guys do it. I will catch up on everything.
Laura's going to be out of commission for a couple weeks, starting next Friday. So,
And then we'll do.
can we play it by ear in a week?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're okay with that.
Yeah.
You guys. No, you guys meet.
I may be me and just
Oh no,
go ahead
we'll
and mess with
meet-
Dresden's, but
We'll
meet and
either
maybe-
way.
So she says keep going because she can catch up later. So we'll plan on just moving ahead. Because this one we've got this under control. Like if we need to, it's not complicated. It's just we gotta do it.
And if anything, like the other thing that I was thinking about for next week, if we cannot get a delay, is or if we do need to take a delay on next week, is or 2 weeks from now,
2
of course,
weeks,
but
yeah.
so the other thing that we need to do is which I was thinking about shoving into this Sunday side project, but we could play that by ear, is figuring out what we're going to do for next year. If we want to like if we want to start workshopping that design, and
Which I've been
figuring
thinking about
out.
myself. So
yeah. So like that's something else that if we do need to like push the timeline back a little bit, we'll just have to find some other project for Chris to do right now.
I'm a menace. I do have one more thing I could be working on, and just have chosen not to.
Well, there you go. Now you have to do it.
Basically,
for the
I
next
need to-
2 weeks we have to do it. But at our next meeting in 2 weeks, I think we should move on to the next one.
Okay.
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 I think
So
you're good to do that.
I still have a whole quilt that needs to be quilted. So, because I haven't quilted the one the treasure box quilt.
Yeah. So yeah, we will plan unless let me know if you change your mind. Like you said, we'll give you a week, and if you change your mind, then we will.
Yeah, I'll give you plenty of notice, but we'll see because I might even be able to come over and help some this weekend to get us here.
Mhm.
So
Perfect.
we'll be good.
So we will go ahead and plan to start the Dresden plate. That's what we're doing next week or next month. Okay. So we will plan to start the Dresden plate, and hopefully that's something that I've absolutely never done before, but it looks fairly.
It looks fairly simple.
Yeah.
They look pretty straightforward glancing at them. So.
Yeah.
But this makes me honestly, I was looking at the instructions for this and thinking about the pineapples. So I've been thinking
Yeah,
about
I
those
could see it.
I've been thinking about those pineapples, like doing the leaves at the top with the applique, and then I'm thinking like maybe some sort of strange HS.
Honestly, I think you could use the Dresden petals to do the leaves
You probably could.
because they end up that kind of pointy after you sew the tops together.
Oh right, because it has the little So we'll play around with it. But
Let
we
me pull
will.
this out.
Yeah.
They end up pointy. And obviously we wouldn't sew them together like that, but
But
I
if
think
we could do something with that to make.
I think the base block or base unit has potential to work.
Just be a Dresden. Yeah.
Yeah.
Possible.
Yeah, so we will put that obviously since we're not doing it until next year, and I feel like what we're going to end up doing mostly is hodgepodging pre-existing squares into what we need. So the big challenge for me is that I do want to do that bit of paper piecing in it, and I'm just going to have to figure out how to make paper piecing pattern. But I have faith in myself for that because I am kind of a geometry pro. So I feel once I actually do this thing that I need to get done for paper piecing. So I do have that other project to do right now, but which is literally a flamingo head, but I'm not going to do anything nearly as complicated as this one. But yeah, so I feel
all I'm hearing is I need 4 more projects.
Yeah, I wish that there was a way for you to purchase this partial flamingo head so that you could do it with me.
I want a flamingo
I
head.
could check their website. I feel like that probably exists on their website.
Or I could literally scan it and send it to you, and you would just have to buy the fabric. Yeah, I will absolutely do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
I
so
need
we
string of
can
heads.
so we could put this into Sunday side project then.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you guys could just like either use the like Kona fabrics, the 8 bajillion Kona fabrics that it needs, or just like use whatever scraps and go crazy with it and just learn how to do it. But yeah, so we'll put that in the queue as well. We'll do the one block wonder will be a fairly easy one, and I figure for us to do for Sunday side project, we will go like a smaller, like a tapestry size for it, just to learn how to do it. So we will finish the bag this month, and then in May we will do the one block wonder, and then June we'll do the English paper or the foundation paper piecing.
Awesome.
I like it.
Perfect.
Woo, woo.
Getting it all
Look
scheduled.
at us
I
talking with our
will.
hands again.
So I'm gonna go ahead and get those scanned now while I'm thinking of it. But is there anything else that we need to go over before we close out for the evening?
No, I think we're good. This was actually super helpful because
Yeah.
I did have questions while I was doing it, but now it's done and I'm good.
Perfect. So then I'm gonna go in and photocopy it, and I will drop it into the Discord. But yeah, that's everything. So bye, everybody. I'm gonna end that broadcast.
And that broadcast.